once again, I'm Late Ramadan, taking you through English language. First of all, we are going to go through correction of the previous lesson, and that was for lesson 2. I remember giving you an activity of 6 numbers, so I want us to begin with those and then correct those areas first of all. Our first question was, when was the above letter written? And according to the letter I gave you, the date was that. So the answer is, the above letter was written on 10th May 2020. Number 2, who is the receiver of the letter above? Juliet is the receiver of the letter above. Remember, the position of the word above here is different from that of the word above in the first question. Number 3, why do you think the letter was written? I think the letter was written to inform Juliet to pick her self-study work from the office of the LC1 chairperson of her village. Now, when you are writing I think, do not mix the words, because there is a common problem whereby I is mixed to think and it looks like it is one word. So please take note of that when you are writing. There are 2 short words in the dictionary, I and a. Remember, they are words on their own, so they should be well spaced. So that is that. Number 4, according to the letter, where can Juliet pick the self-study work? Remember the position of this phrase, according to the letter. It is at the beginning of the question, and therefore we should also begin with that. According to the letter, Juliet can pick the self-study work from the office of the LC1 chairperson of her village. You realize that there is a lot of repetition for this answer that has already appeared in this one. Remember, here we are stating why we think the letter was written. So the whole reason has to be given, and now here we are stating where we think Juliet can pick the letter. So you realize that some parts have been repeated. Number 5, give another word to mean carry on as used in the letter. This word can mean continue or proceed as far as it was concerned in the letter. Carry on is a phrase, or we can call it a phrasal verb, but it means the same as continue or proceed. I remember telling you that do not add a full stop when you're giving another word to mean that which has been used. The other thing is that here it was having no capital letter, and therefore even yours does not have to have a capital letter. I hope you've taken that. Number 6, who wrote the above letter? Sometimes this question is asked in passive voice. By whom was the above letter written? So since it is in active voice, even our answer is going to be in active voice. Bernard wrote the above letter. So that marks the end of the correction for the previous activity. I want to take you through now our lesson 3. I think you permit me to read this. So, I am now sure that having looked at the parts of a friendly letter, the parts of an informal letter, or the parts of a personal letter, and then we have also discussed some comprehension question related to the same parts, we are now ready to practice writing the informal letters or the friendly letters. Now, as we are going to have this lesson, I want us to take note of the following key points. When you're writing a friendly letter, when you're writing an informal letter, when you're writing a personal letter, what are the things that you should bear in mind, or what are going to be the qualities of a friendly letter? One, remember that every good letter has to be well punctuated. So take note of punctuation that you're going to use in your letter. A good letter must be well punctuated. I remember showing you that when we were going through the parts of a friendly letter. Secondly, we are going to use polite, friendly language. I remember telling you that in a personal letter, the language does not have to be official. But even when it is personal, it has to be polite. Be polite when you're writing a letter. That's why we have words like dear, hello, and so on. Do not be rude when you're writing a letter. And the other thing is the paragraphing. I remember advising you that currently we use the block style of writing a letter, and therefore you should know how you're going to state your paragraphs. This is very important. And then the other thing is the spellings used. My friend, you should take note of the words that you're using. Make sure you know the spelling of each word, because if you don't write the correct spelling, someone can even mistake what you have written to be something else. So please ensure that you use correct spellings. And lastly, tense. The tenses that you're going to use should be clear, okay? Do not mix. If you're using the present tense, in most cases, please let a statement bear a correct tense. We all know that a tense is a change of a verb according to time. When have you written this letter? And therefore, sure, I don't expect anybody to write a letter in past tense. You cannot say, I wrote this letter because I wanted, and therefore I told you. No. Since you're communicating and you expect a reply, therefore the letter has to be in the current tense. So, having looked at these key points, I want us straightforward to go into the practice. Now, to remind you, we said there are 6 parts of a friendly letter. Begin with the address, leave a lane, go to the date, leave a lane, go to the salutation, leave a lane. I mean, after the salutation, we go to the body, and after the body, the concluding phrase, and then lastly, the signature, which we said is the writer's first name. So, let us now begin practicing. Here now we are going to have instructions that we are going to follow as we write the letter. So I am writing instructions, then we shall see how best we can follow these instructions to come up with a friendly letter. Okay, using your school address, write a letter to your uncle thanking him for the birthday gift he sent to you. Do not ask me, has my uncle sent me any gift? We are meant to follow the instructions. So here we assume you had a birthday party and then you received a gift from your uncle. So we have to follow these instructions and then we come up with a good letter. Since you are writing to your uncle, who is your relative, it has to be a friendly letter or a personal letter or an informal letter. So let us see how we can write this letter. This can be like my checkpoint. What are the parts of the friendly letter? One, I am supposed to start with the address. What is going to come after the address in my letter is the date. And after the date, I will have to write the salutation. Then after that, the body. After that, the concluding phrase. And then lastly, the signature. So when I list this, I don't think I will forget any part of the letter. In most cases, people end up forgetting the date in the letter. But when you first of all make this, or as your checklist, you will be able to follow and come up with all the parts. So make sure that the page you are using has a margin. So I'll take this as my margin. So I start at the margin to write the school address, because they have said using your school address. Take note of your school address. In this parents, I put here a comma. Okay, have I finished the address? Is the address well punctuated? If I have finished, I come and I tick to show that I have finished the address. What is the next thing? The date, but after leaving a lane. Okay? So we write the date. Today is, make sure you use a valid date. I don't expect anybody here to say 18th May, maybe 1990, because that would be an invalid date. The date should be that same date when you have written the letter. So after the date, we have the salutation. Dear Uncle. Why have I used a capital letter? To make this word special. Remember, uncle is a common noun, but in this case, I am writing it in respect to my uncle, so I can leave it like that. Sometimes you can even add the name of your uncle if you know him, but I am not going to add that. So, somebody asked me one time, supposing I write only that and I end it there, is there any problem? The answer is no, because this is an introduction. I hope you are doing well. Isn't it a complete statement? However, if you wish to add another, you can do so. But if I left it alone, still there is no problem. That is an introduction. Now I can go to the message. I have finished the date, I have finished the salutation, now I am on the body, okay? So, I hope you are doing well. Now, remember to follow the instructions. Write a letter to your uncle, and that's why I've said, dear uncle, thanking him for the birthday gift he sent to you. So, I'll now say, I have have written this letter to thank you for the birthday gift you sent to me. You are writing to your uncle, okay? Don't again say to thank him. That will mean now third person pronoun. To thank you. Remember to change that as you're writing to somebody who is going to receive the letter. It is important for you to specify the gift here that the uncle sent to you. I can say, I received. I received Isn't that enough? I received the dictionary and I felt so glad for this gift. You have already specified the gift that your uncle sent to you. Is there anything else they have asked you to include? According to the instructions, we don't have anything else. So conclude the letter. Do not bring other things. Some of you have a tendency of adding, let me hope, those other stories, please leave them. Here we are following instructions, okay? So the last part of the body is the conclusion. Remember to put it there. Somebody can say, okay? Send my regards to my cousins. God bless you. This is the conclusion, and you have finished the message. So this marks the end of the body. You now tick, like I have done here. What next is the concluding phrase. So come here and say, I expect you, if you're a girl, to say your beloved niece, or if you're a boy, you say your beloved nephew. Remember, you are writing to your uncle. This is very important. Some of you will end here by saying your loving friend, and yet you're writing to your uncle. So if you're a girl, you can say your beloved niece, your caring niece, your loving niece, or simply your niece. Is that okay? Then you put your name. Now, if you put niece, I don't expect you to use a male name here, because now you assume you are a girl. So now the name can be maybe Gloria. Okay? So this marks the end of the letter. Remember to read through your letter after writing. So together we can go. Bright Parents Junior School, P.O. Box 22, Mbale, 18th May 2020. Dear Uncle, I hope you are doing well. I have written this letter to thank you for the birthday gift you sent to me. I received a dictionary and I felt so glad for this gift. To feel glad is to feel thankful or grateful or pleased or delighted, okay? Send my regards to my cousins. Remember, the children to your uncle are your cousins. Don't say, send my regards maybe to my sisters. No, be specific there. So God bless you, your beloved niece, Gloria. Now, check again in the instructions. Have you included all that was asked? If you have done so, well and good. But I know that with this checkpoint, you will find that it becomes very easy for you to write the letter, okay? Now, this can be the last example, and then we shall do it together with you. Remember to take note of the points we began with. So example 2. This is our last example. Use your address and write a letter to your friend inviting him to attend your birthday party. Specify the venue, date, and time. Someone would ask, the first example had birthday, even this one has birthday. Remember, these instructions are very different, despite the fact that the subject in them is the same, okay? So the first thing is make sure you have understood what you are required to do as far as the instructions are concerned. Use your address. This is very important for you to note. The first instruction said using your school address, but here we are asked to use our address. Is your school address the same as your address? The answer is no. Okay? Where are you residing? Where can we find you? You get that? So the address is the place that you can be found, not specific school whenever they ask you to write a letter. This is a common mistake that many of you have. So use your address and write a letter to your friend. This time now we are writing to our friend, inviting him. This is now specific that the friend has to be a boy. I don't want to see someone saying, "Dear Mary," because they have said inviting him, okay, to attend your birthday party. Specify the venue, date, and time. So, like we said, checkpoint, the first thing is the address. Now, what is your address? Write your address, not your school address. Is that okay? So, somebody can say, maybe, you might be in a village, you might be in a town, use that same address, okay? I know you might be having a worry. You may not know the box number of your village, or maybe the name of the village, you don't know it. What is important about the address is, make sure there is a name of a place, make sure there is a box number, and where that place is found. These are the three main characteristics of the address that have to be seen. Put any box number, as long as it is seen, you will get. Maybe the other query could be, why are you not including the day in the date? It is not necessary. For example, today is Monday. It is not necessary to begin and say Monday like that. Simply put the date, month, and the year. That's enough for the date in your letter. So after the date, salutation now. Now, don't say dear friend. Put here the name of your friend, okay? Maybe the friend can be Emma. I hope you now know why I have used the boy name, because they have said inviting him, okay? So, dear Emma. How are you wherever you are? I miss you. This can be enough for the introduction. Now go to the body and now write the message. So after the introduction, when you are going to write the message, remember to check in the instructions to your friend, inviting him to attend your birthday party. That should be the main reason now. You can now this time say the purpose. There are so many ways of starting. We can continue, or you can put a period and then you create a new statement in case it is becoming so lengthy. So I can put here period. Have I finished the first point? To invite you to my birthday party. So you own the question, okay? Don't again say to invite you to your birthday party, but to my birthday party. I will say specify the venue, time, and date. So you can now say it. When you're writing the place, what is the first thing is place. So we can say at we have finished the place. What is next is the date. Put the date. Put any date or your birth date. Okay. Have I put the place? Home. Clear. Have I put the date? Yes. Have I put the time? I have followed the instructions. So there is nothing else to add as far as these instructions are concerned. Conclude the letter. Let's use the word hosting, because this person is going to visit you. So I look forward to hosting you that day. That becomes our conclusion. Is there any other thing remaining? We now go to the concluding phrase or complementary clause. So this now can be your I use the girl name here. Let me now use name of a boy. Your affectionate friend, Timothy. And that marks the end of your letter. So let us read it through. Shitimo Village, P.O. Box 45, Nyondo, 18th May 2020. Dear Emma, how are you wherever you are? Please, wherever is for place, whenever is for time. Some people make that mistake. How are you whenever you are? No, that's not right. How are you wherever you are? I miss you. That's introduction. The purpose of this letter is to invite you to my birthday party. It will take place at our home on 22nd May 2020 at 4 p.m. They have not said duration, so simply put the time. I look forward to hosting you that day. You have included all that is required in the instructions, so just conclude the letter. Your affectionate friend, Timothy. During the time of practice for vocabulary, we learned the meaning of the word affectionate, affectionately, and so on. So this marks the end of our second example. I want to give you some activity, hoping that you have been able to follow the examples well. You have seen that a friendly letter has one address, and you have seen different ways we can write, maybe the body and so on. So try out this. Okay? You are a pupil at Arc Junior School, P.O. Box 114, Bumbo. Write a letter to your friend, to your pen pal in Germany, asking him or her about the coronavirus situation in the country. We can end with this. Use your school address. Remember, you are a pupil at Arc Junior School. So, do not use the other one you know, but now assume this is your school address. The other thing, him or her. Choose a friend. He can be a boy or she can be a girl. Now remember who a pen pal is. I told you when we were learning vocabulary. A friend that you normally communicate through letter writing, but you may have never met. So assume yours is in Germany. And then you're asking him or her about the coronavirus situation in the country. So don't add anything else. The message should be around this. So when you have done that activity, I expect to handle or to address any queries that you may find. But please remember to contact me on the number that you're seeing on the screen so that I can be able to help you where you find a challenge. For now, that marks the end of our lesson 3. Thank you so much for being good viewers. God bless you.